Ever been in situations where it is like you are trying to achieve something, or you have a great plan, you have a wonderful plan, but then it's just like every single person you talk to is seeing only limitations. Every single person you talk to is just seeing how it will not work, is just seeing all the problems attached. They don't see it in your light, right? And this is a very common thing. It happens virtually, I would say, every day, right? So but today let's talk about 5 points that I have learned so far that has really helped me not to wait for people. You understand? So I no longer wait for people. So if there's anything I want to do, I just inform people and then I just go ahead with it. So the first point we'll talk about is people will catch up. People will catch up. And this one is something that you may not really, be aware of it initially, but the truth is people will eventually catch up, right? So whatever your plan is, whatever your idea is, everybody does not have the same mind that you have. Everybody does not have your mindset. There are people who have like a myopic, like a very small mind, right, compared to you, right? So when you are thinking big, when you are dreaming big, when you are having big plans or having big ideas, when you present it to them, and it's even important to even know the kind of people you even present your plans to, or even tell about your plans just to hear their views, because not everybody should even hear about it, because many people will just, just discourage you. So but people will eventually catch up, and it is simple. Human beings naturally, whether we admit it or not, we naturally resist change, any change at all. Many of us, I cannot say everybody, but majority of humans, we naturally just resist change. So anything that is just like that is just out of the status quo, just out of the norm, right? We just naturally want to resist it, because it's not normal. We just want to do things the same way we've been doing it. We just want to do things repetitively. You understand? Because we are sure of the results that will come out if we do it in repetitions. You understand what I said? Second point is people will always have valid reasons why you shouldn't do what you want to do. Oh yes. And this one is so true, because see, for anything on this earth, right, even you yourself, for anything on this earth that you want to do, right, if you just want to find an excuse around it, you will always find excuses. The excuses are so valid that if you were to put the excuses into consideration, you would not even start, you would not even go on that journey. While it is good to pay attention and take into consideration many of these excuses, what we call excuses right now, and many of these contributions, many of these ideas of people or contributions of people you talk to, right, just also know that you have the final say, number one, and you are the one seeing the vision. Like, I feel like no matter how well you explain to human beings, right, there will always be that gap, right, either from the talker, either from the person explaining, or either from the listener. There will always be that gap, there's a gap that you cannot really explain it, or the person cannot really receive it in the exact way it's in your mind. You understand it? So yes, in as much as you take into considerations all the advice of people, all the whatever it is, right, still know that you have the final say. So, and you truly see the vision for what it is, right? And of course, I will mention again, know the kind of people you present your plans to. It is not everybody that should know. It is not everybody that should even be aware that you have such a plan. Know the kind of people you present your plans to. This is so important. The Bible says faith comes by hearing, right? Disbelief can also come by hearing. Fear can also come by hearing. So just by hearing negative words or hearing excuses, right, you that is an unbendable rock, it's possible to just find yourself bending. And then the third point is, it may seem people aren't paying attention to you, but everyone is watching. Now this is for when you eventually start, or when you eventually kick off the plan, or when you still decide, to carry on the plan, even in the midst of contrary opinions and whatever, right? For a while, and this one I know from experience, for a while it may look like people are not really paying attention. For a while it may look like nobody is seeing you, it may look like nobody is watching you, it may look like nobody is even, it may look like there's no visibility. Basically, it may look like nobody even knows you are doing anything. You must have been in this situation before, whereby you maybe in a class or in a workspace, right, or in church or whatever, right, there was that person that was doing something consistently, right, or was acting in a particular way consistently, or sitting in a particular seat consistently over a period of time, that even though you and the person never spoke any day, you don't know anything about the person, but you just know that this person always sits here, or you just know that, oh, this person blah blah behaves in such way, right? And then eventually the day you finally get talking, right, the person, with the person can even tell you something like, I know you, I always see you, you sit so and so place, you always do this, you drive so and so car, or whatever it is, right? It's the same thing. People are watching, but for a long time it may seem like nobody is seeing you. And this is something I've learned in my own life. Even though you might feel unseen, people are seeing what you are doing. People are watching, people are paying attention. Even if for the longest time nobody would talk to you about it, nobody would, come to your DM or send you a message or tell you anything, any encouraging word like, oh, this thing you started or whatever it is. Guess what they are watching for? Either you make it, or either you break it. Like, either you make it or either you break it. Either you are successful or unsuccessful. Becoming successful in it, oh, that is when you will know that people are there. That's when you will know people have been watching. You hear all sorts of comments, that's when you hear people saying all things like, I've been supporting you since day one, blah 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 blah. And then you get so much support, and you be like, I've been having this support since, and I never even knew. Now the fourth point, and this one I love this point so much, and it's something I do. It is something I consciously and practically engage, and it is put on an outward show of confidence. Even in the midst of doubts, act confidence. See, confidence is an act. Let me explain. It is just like speaking in public. It is just like speaking to people. Public speaking is just like speaking on a stage. It's just like speaking to a crowd, right? You may feel that stage fright. You may feel, oh, how do I do this, right? And this is where we should even apply that sentence of fake it till you make it. This is where I believe it is applicable, because confidence is an act. Your plans, you may have a plan, a business plan, and sometimes, right, it is possible that even with that business plan, even with that idea of yours, you are not really confident. You are not really inwardly, right? You still find that you are still doubting yourself. You are not really sure. You are not really confident. But you know what? Put on an outward show of confidence. Don't allow anybody. See. Nobody would know that you are not sure. Nobody would know that you are not confident until you show it. It is how people perceive you. It is how people, perceive you. That is how they will receive you. It is how people perceive you. That is how they will receive you. So if they perceive that you are confident, then they will receive you like that. Do you understand it? And this one, I learned this one in university days. And it is and this one I learned this from, school politics and whatever. When you see an aspirant, an SCG aspirant, a politics aspirant who is confident and sure of himself, or acts confident now in this case, right? You see that his followers just naturally, he just rubs off on his followers, and his followers just all become act confident. You understand it? You are not sure of yourself, just act confident. Just be confident. Just put on a show of confidence, and nobody would know, I promise you. And this is what I do even when I speak to, maybe a little crowd or a group of people or whatever, right? Sometimes I might feel stage fright, or I might use some kind of code, but I just put on an outward show of confidence. Just act confident. And you find out that by acting confident, you actually become confident in the process. You actually just become confident. Final point is, and this one is the most important, I will even say, it is one with God is majority. You are never alone. You are not small. One with God is majority. This is facts. This is true. This is 100%. One with God is majority. In all your plans, it says how does the book of Proverbs put it? It says lean not on your own understanding, right? But in all your ways acknowledge him, acknowledge God. It says man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, right? It is possible to live by bread alone. It is possible to live by my wisdom, my strength, my intellect alone, right? But go with God. God is our strong pillar, is our strong tower, is our solid rock. I hope you understand it. So yeah, now sometimes it is wisdom to actually sit down and take into proper consideration, right, the advice given by others, because of course there are people who have gone ahead of you and everything, but you understand it. So it is advice, it is it is wisdom to actually take into consideration sometimes. So I hope you understand it. So yeah, I hope this one blessed you, and see you in the next video.